More upgrades for Oregon Trail Park have been approved by the Gering City Council. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, a Gering company has been awarded the contract for the site work tied to the Oregon Trail Park pickleball courts and parking area project. The city received 2 bids for that portion of the project, with Mark Chrisman Trucking coming in with the low bid at just over $264,000, which was actually below the engineer's estimate of more than $285,000. City engineer Annie Folk explained the extent of the site work for the city council on Monday evening.
And this is for all of the site work, so they'll come in and they'll do all of the grading, all of the prep for the post-tension concrete, and then they'll do all the walkways around the post-tension concrete walkways, and then they will also come in and do the parking area, which is going to be a crushed concrete surface. It won't be paved, but it will have curb and gutter to give a good separation between that crushed concrete and the sod in the park.
Folk said combined with other major elements of the project, the bulk of the work will cost $550,000, not including some smaller pieces of the plan, well under the $600,000 budgeted for the courts and parking lot. The bid was approved on a unanimous vote. Well, hopes of an especially productive legislative session for the Nebraska unicameral continue to dim as Day 35 saw Senator Michaela Cavanaugh of Omaha continue her filibuster of every measure reaching the floor for debate. After dividing the question on a committee amendment to a bill and filing several motions, Cavanaugh said she'd done some back-of-the-envelope calculations, and at the current rate, lawmakers can expect to pass at most 42 bills at the end of the session.
That only happens if we go to 11:59 every night that we have all-day debate, which of course we're probably not going to do. We're not going to go 9 a.m. to 11:59 every day once we start all-day debate. So let's say 35 bills. We're going to pass 35 bills this year. What are they going to be?
Bayard Senator Steve Erdman called the situation ridiculous, with the rules allowing one lawmaker with a vendetta about bills they don't like to bog down the legislative process.
That's the way that bullies do things. And the only way that you can deal with a bully is to hit him head on. So if we want to go to 11:59, I'm ready to go to 11:59 every night. We'll see how much stamina Senator Michaela Cavanaugh has.
Erdman also said he's prepared to offer a motion to end the session early, which would allow the governor to call lawmakers back to complete a budget and voter ID legislation and then go home. We'll have more news right after this.
Swipe right, swipe left, endlessly searching. Finding the perfect match isn't always perfect, but it can be when it comes to finances. Nora found the perfect business loan. Jenny opened her first savings account. Grammy loves her checking account. We found a match for Wilson Farms. The Sandersons were matched with a mortgage. Regardless of your financial situation, Platte Valley Bank will match you with the perfect solution. Find your match at Platte Valley Bank.
This isn't just a beautiful hospital. It's the home to exceptional patient care. This is where specialty clinics meet your needs. This is where a friendly smile, a warm hand, and an empathetic ear exist to care for you. This is us. Fox Butte General Hospital. General Hospital. Great things are happening here.
Welcome back. Last May, a Scottsbluff woman was sentenced to 70 months in federal prison on a conviction of distributing more than 50 grams of methamphetamine. And last week in federal court, one of the kingpins above her on the distribution chain was also sentenced. 32-year-old Socorro Alejandra Alvarez of Mexico used an illegal cell phone while in prison in Oklahoma to make a call to Rosalio Arellano in Los Angeles. They arranged for a package of methamphetamine to be delivered to Nebraska, but law enforcement intercepted the package, which contained nearly 1 pound of meth. Authorities say that one of their previous shipments had been sent to Shannon Rojas of Scottsbluff. Alvarez was sentenced by U.S. District Judge John Gerard to 15 years in federal prison, followed by a 10-year term of supervised release. Well, an argument with his mother could result in prison time for a Mitchell man caught with suspected meth and a firearm. 30-year-old Andrew Flatton was contacted by officers back in October following the altercation and discovered a gun in his waistband, suspected methamphetamine, and a glass smoking device. Last Tuesday, he pleaded guilty to charges of attempted possession of a firearm by a prohibited person and carrying a concealed weapon. In exchange for his plea, the drug and paraphernalia charges were dismissed. He'll learn how long his sentence is when he appears before District Judge Andrea Miller on April 14th. And State Attorney General Mike Hilgers expressed confidence in the case made before the U.S. Supreme Court yesterday in a suit where Nebraska and 8 other states have challenged the Biden administration's student loan debt forgiveness plan. In a virtual news conference from Washington, D.C. with reporters, Hilger said if the High Court upholds the plan to discharge more than $430 billion in student loans, the repercussions would be significant and pose a huge power grab by the executive branch.
And you can bet if this action is successful that Republican administrations down the road, Democratic administrations down the road will seize that opportunity and look for obscure legal hooks that really have nothing to do with the question before them to do really massive changes that whether you like that policy or not, there's an opportunity to be heard in Congress, and that Congress has not saw fit to actually pass that bill.
When asked what he would tell the nearly 150,000 Nebraskans who already applied and were approved for the program, Hilger said he would tell them the same thing he would tell those who have paid their loans early or who have never taken them out at all. Hilger says the case is not about the underlying policy, which the Biden administration has tried to get through Congress, but whether it's the legislative or executive branch that has the ability to authorize spending in such a manner.
It's time for the recycling game. Question 1. Where do you recycle old electronics in the Tri-City area?
The Environmental Services at 609 East 2nd Street.
Correct. Question 2. Where can you find recycling trailers?
Trailers can be found in Gearing and Terrytown.
Correct. Final question. How can you dump recyclables and not have to sort them?
The Free Stream Recycle Bins from the city.
That's correct. You just won a cleaner and happier city, brought to you by Tri-City Stormwater.
For this week's featured Pet of the Week, we meet Hazel, a 2-year-old Terrier Pit Bull mix who's been at the Panhandle Humane Society for more than a month now. Staff says she would love a large backyard so she can run around and play in, And she would also love to be able to go for long walks, as she has a lot of energy to spare. Her adoption cost is $150, and that includes her spay, microchipping, and all vaccinations. Plus, whoever adopts Hazel will also receive a $25 Murdoch's gift card to start spoiling her right away.
Welcome to Kelly's, home of the Valley's best selection of wine, spirits, and beer. Whether you're brand loyal to the tried and true brew or really enjoy trying something different and new, Kelly's has something for everyone. Family owned and operated and right on your way on West 27th Street in Scotts Bluff. Kelly's Liquor. If you can't find it at Kelly's, it's not worth drinking.
Well, let's take a peek at what's happening on your midweek community calendar. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. Community strong with the people you know and trust.
Panhandle Trails Intercity Public Transit, based in Alliance, Nebraska, is the only intercity bus serving Nebraska Panhandle communities and Pine Ridge, South Dakota. Panhandle Trails operates a regularly scheduled bus service, assisting you in making connections with Greyhound bus partners, regional airports, healthcare, employment and education opportunities, shopping, family, friends, and more. Panhandle Trails serves the general public of all ages and offers accessible transportation for those with special mobility needs. Let Panhandle Trails help you make your connection. Call 308-761-8747.
At Platte Valley Bank, we want to help you plan for tomorrow while you enjoy today. Our personalized trust services can help you do just that. You've worked hard to build your legacy, and you want to make sure that gets passed on for generations to come. We offer the professional guidance necessary to ensure that happens, according to your wishes. We pride ourselves in being friendly and professional while offering a highly tailored full line of trust and estate planning services to accommodate you. You belong here.
And finally tonight, a well-known Gering couple will be honored this weekend during the annual Statehood Day dinner sponsored by the Nebraska Land Foundation. John and Rita Stinner will be among the recipients of the foundation's Distinguished Nebraska Lander Award at the State Capitol building in Lincoln on March 4th. According to pending legislative resolutions, Rita will be honored for dedicating her life and professional endeavors to improving the quality of life for Nebraskans through the arts, especially through vocal music. Former Senator John Stinner will be honored for his distinguished career in finance and banking, as well as for his service in the Nebraska legislature, addressing issues such as funding for early childhood development and mental health services, as well as helping shape state finances as Appropriations Committee chair. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there. We'll see you here next time.